5 seconds. Mr. Chairman, I am happy to welcome the demand for grants of the Ministry of Energy. I support the demand and, while so doing, would like to give a few suggestions for the consideration of the Minister. It has been made crystal clear in the policy note that it is the duty of the government to provide electricity at cheaper rates. Keeping this in view, the government has done its best during the 5-year plan periods. The government is working day and night to boost the production of electricity. The hydroelectric power generation is encouraging. There is a steady increase in the thermal power generation. Nuclear power plants are also being set up in different parts of the country. Generation of non conventional energy has also got sufficient impetus. Ultimately, the increase in generation of power is helping in the development of industries. Today, while replying to a question, the Honorable Minister has given details about the power supply to the rural and urban areas. His reply showed great disparity in power supply between the rural and urban areas. It was glaring indeed. The life in the cities is more comfortable on account of regular power supply. It is high time that the government provided more power to the villages. Many members have already referred to the financial and other difficulties faced by the state electricity boards. The plan allocation is not sufficient for the optimum generation of power. The government spends crores of rupees for energy generation, but we have to see whether it relieves the villages from the acute shortage of power. It is very essential to take the cumulative effect of the government money spent. We have also to concentrate more on non-conventional energy sources like biogas plants, gobar gas plants, and mills, and many hydroelectric power plants. These sources of energy will provide an impetus to the integrated rural development programs. If we have to establish a socialistic pattern of society, it is imperative to know the problem of the rural masses. I hope that the Honorable Minister will do his best to boost the production of power and to supply it to the rural areas. Even after 40 years of independence, most of the villages do not have street lights. The condition of the electric poles in the villages is very bad. Most of them are very old. They are rusted and may fall on the huts in the villages at any time. Instead of replacing these defective poles in the villages, the department is trying to install new poles in new areas. I request the government to take effective steps to replace the old electric poles in all the villages throughout the country. It is shocking to note that most of the scheduled castes colonies, especially in the tribal areas, are in darkness. The officials and the respective electricity boards and others connected with the rural electrification have completely neglected those areas. The government should see that all the areas inhabited by the poor scheduled caste people who are very much below the poverty line are provided with electricity. While the electricity boards are very much in favor of providing electricity to the cinema houses and industries, it is not known why they should refuse to help the farmers who need electric power very much for carrying on their agricultural operation. I request the Honorable Minister to have consultations with the chairman of the state electricity boards and the chief ministers and arrive at an early decision to provide continuous power supply to the farmers. We should not forget the fact that it is the farmers who produce the necessary food grains for the entire country. Some members have urged the government to supply free power to the farmers. I have visited some foreign countries. During such visits, I have inquired about the power and water rates for farmers. To my pleasant surprise, they said that water and power were not charged. The agriculturists availing of such opportunities of free supply of power and water came forward to produce huge quantities of food grains. Why don't we also follow the same system to encourage our farmers? As a result of frequent power cuts, a number of industries have been adversely affected. Some of them had a close their business and some others had to declare lockouts. So the government should take positive steps to help the industries and solve the power crisis effectively. With these words, I conclude my speech.